Hi, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to turn 6 of our during action report of Another Road to Wiltz. A quick recap for the end of turn 5. We're looking west from the German perspective towards the town of Wiltz itself, and units that we've currently identified is what appears to be an infantry unit here. If we reverse the camera, this guy, if I zoom in for you, is carrying what looks like an MG42, although you could argue that at this range it'd be probably quite difficult for our troops to tell that. We also have spotted what appears to be a couple of scouts, and the reason I'm thinking they're scouts is that they are both armed with MP40s. Now, if it was an infantry squad, the only person with an MP40 would be the squad leader, but these both have MP40s, so I think that's probably a scout team. And then if we pan round at the end of the last turn, our bazooka team and anti-aircraft gun knocked out this Puma heavy armoured car, which has been abandoned, or should I say its crew bailed once it was destroyed. The bazooka team are hiding up here, or hunkered down up here in their foxholes, and currently they are pinned, which isn't good news, and they've been pinned by, I believe, this scout team here. If we look further up the road towards Wiltz itself, I can zoom in and you'll see the anti-aircraft gun in the distance that assisted in knocking out that Puma. So that was all at turn 5, last turn. Now, if you notice at the top of the screen here, we've just been informed that reinforcements have arrived in the form of off-map artillery. Now, if I select a forward observer and pan up a bit. Now, the forward observer, if we click on his available artillery, you can see the reinforcements are two gun batteries of 105mm howitzers. Each battery is armed with 70 rounds of 105mm high explosive shells and 20 smoke shells. The VT in brackets means they're proximity fuses, which means they can be set to detonate before impacting the ground, which obviously is a lot more nasty for infantry exploding above their heads. The only thrust so far is straight down the middle. If we look at Die Hard Group 2, their HQ, they're completely oblivious of any attacks at all, and Die Hard Group 3, who are further back in the town of Wiltz itself, they're unaware of any German attack. Our overall commander, Max Diehard, although he is closer and is in radio contact with our forward observer, who is aware of the German attack, Max Diehard himself is still yet to receive that information. So the only group that is aware of a German attack so far is Diehard Group 1 under the command of Wild Bill. Now I'm going to set an artillery barrage. I have to select this forward observer for the simple reason, if we're obeying the hard cat rules, this forward observer is aware of the German attack. If we weren't using the hard cat rules, we could be sneaky and use this forward observer to set an artillery barrage zeroing in on the TRP, target reference point, that is located close to the German thrust. But that's quite gamey, and that's why we're using the hard cat rules. Forward observer team here is unaware of any German presence at all, so we can't use him to set the artillery barrage. It has to be this forward observer team. Now the other rule that goes with the hard cat rules regarding artillery is that once you've selected the type of barrage for off-map artillery, you are not allowed to cease fire. You're not allowed to reposition the artillery. You have to set it for what you think is the correct length of time and then let it run its course. This makes it far more realistic, because in World War II it was very difficult for a forward observer to see how much damage those rounds were causing, and also very difficult for the forward observer to cancel a barrage once it had started. So what we're going to do is just select one of the two guns available, or should I say one of the two batteries available. This battery has two guns, and what we're going to do, we've got a decision to make here. We're going to choose area target, and we're going to zero in on the TRP. The reason being, if you look at the bottom here, currently the forward observer team, it's going to take 7 minutes for this artillery barrage to be called in. That's a long time. But when we click on the TRP and set the barrage itself, now here's the next question: what sort of distance are we going to set it to? Well, our forward observer knows that German troops have reached close to where our bazooka team is, but these are probably just the initial troops, like the advance party. So let's assume that more troops are on their way and they're going to come down this central road, probably through this crossroads where we have the TRP and the minefield. So we're going to set it to, let's say 100, just over 100 meters in diameter. We could go a bit further. Let's go to 126. Select that. How many guns? Well, both. Here's the decision. How long do we want the mission to last? We're going to go for medium duration and medium intensity. And here's where we have the proximity fuse option. Are we going to go for general high explosive, in other words impacting on the ground, or personnel set to impact just above ground? Now 105mm artillery isn't going to knock out armour unless it's a very lucky shot, So let's go for personnel. And now, can you see the delivery time has dropped from 7 minutes to 3 minutes? So we'll call that in immediately. Confirm it. And that's our barrage set in for 3 minutes time. Other orders that I've put in place is these guys are pinned, but they're still set to target armour only. First squad, they've unhidden, and I've removed their very limited target arc that was set to 10 meters. Now again, the hard cat rules don't allow you to set target arcs for units that are out of C2. But at the beginning of a scenario, you can preset target arcs. So at the beginning of the scenario, I preset some of these units to just 10 meters and hidden. Now that we can see troops advancing, enemy troops advancing, I'm quite within my rights within the C2 rules to cancel the target arc. They are out of C2, which means I can't then set a new target arc. But if there is one already in place at the start of the scenario, I'm allowed to cancel it. So that's what I've done with these guys. The light machine gun team, I've done the same. I've cancelled their target arc. This second squad, same again, cancelled the target arc, and they're no longer hidden. The forward observer, obviously you don't want them to give away their position, so he has got a 10 meter target arc, but he is not hidden because I'd like him to actually make sure that he can see the rounds landing where they should be. Other units further back, the other light machine gun team aren't aware of anything. The anti-aircraft gun is in C2 with Wild Bill, so I'm quite within my rights if I wish to change this target arc, but I'm going to leave it to just focusing on armour down the road. So that's everything done for the start of turn 6. We'll pan out a bit and we'll hit go and see what happens. Gunfire being exchanged. Casualties suffered here. Let's zoom in a bit more. Looks like we've got some more armour coming down the road. Oh, and it looks like our bazooka team has scored a hit on that. Anti-aircraft guns engaging more armour. Okay, I'll stop this just before we get the done. There we go. Let's just zoom out and check that we've not had any other German icons appearing anywhere else. Doesn't look like it. No. So let's go back and have a quick whiz through that turn, check our own casualties first. I think we only received, unfortunately, the one casualty we did receive was the leader of first squad. Do we have any others? No, doesn't look like it. So let's have a quick look at what our bazooka team did and the anti-aircraft gun, because they took out some more armour, which would be interesting to see. Okay, let's have a look. Here's the sound contact coming down the road. There we go. So it's a half-track, an American half-track. Now you're probably thinking, why an American half-track the Germans are using? Well, for those of you that know your Battle of the Bulge history, the Germans did use American vehicles and troops dressed as Americans to cause mayhem, I guess, in the American lines during the first stages of the attack, disguised as American troops themselves. Now let's have a look and see what happens here. I'm going to remove the target arcs just to make it more realistic. We'll get rid of that. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's see what happens here. There we go. Lit up nicely. And here comes another half track, which is hit by the anti-aircraft gun. And as you can see, that's wiped that one out as well. Let's have a quick look from the anti-aircraft gun's perspective. So we'll just get the icons back on. Go back to the anti-aircraft gun itself. Get a good camera angle behind them. Wind it back a bit. Zoom in. That's zooming out, Drew, get it right. You can tell I'd be no good as a film director, can't you? Sorry about this, but I'd rather make it worth watching. So there we see, that's a German support half-track, which has an infantry gun mounted on top. 37mm anti-tank gun, actually a light anti-tank gun, but it carries high explosives for use against infantry as well. And let's watch what happens here. Yeah, that's definitely shredded. I think you can stop firing now, chaps. There we go. So, that's the end of turn 6. Quite a bit of action. More German units arriving. Again, the only thrust appears to be straight down the centre. So we've set a barrage to kick in down their avenue of approach. That will be arriving in about 3 minutes. And currently our anti-aircraft gun and our bazooka team are doing a good job of taking out the German armour, be it German made or American made. So that's it for turn 6. Thanks for watching.